Investors got no relief from coronavirus worries on Wednesday. That after hundreds of new cases were reported worldwide and US authorities said a pandemic was now inevitable. After sharp falls for Asian stocks, European markets also tanked. Benchmark indexes were all down over 1% in early trade before recovering a little ground. The regional stock 600 approached a 4-month low. A slew of corporate warnings about the virus didn't help the mood. Among the big names, Diageo says the outbreak will snip up to $260 million off profits this year. Its shares fell as much as 3%. Food group Danone also cut its sales forecast for the year, estimating the hit at over $100 million. And miner Rio Tinto reported its best earnings since 2011, but warned that the coronavirus could make the next 6 months a challenge. Luxury brand Hermes was one of the few to strike a positive note. It said it saw signs of a return to normal trading in China. Just 4 of its stores there are now shut, down from 15 earlier in the year. But its shares still sank over 1%. Investors, it seems, are focused on the negatives. Wednesday morning saw traditional safe havens all rise. Gold headed towards 7-year highs, with US and German government bonds also posting gains.
Beyond Meat's sizzling shares got even hotter Wednesday after Starbucks said it'll start selling a plant-based breakfast sandwich next week. The Beyond Meat sandwich, topped with cheddar cheese and egg on a bun, will debut at nearly all its shops in Canada next month. The deal intensifies the already fierce rivalry between Beyond Meat and other plant-based meat producers, including Impossible Foods, Kellogg, Cargill, and Nestle, which are competing for restaurant deals and shelf space at supermarkets. Dunkin' Brands expanded its distribution of the Beyond Sausage Sandwich to all its U.S. stores in November, and McDonald's is testing burgers using Beyond Meat patties in Ontario. Since debuting on the NASDAQ in May, Beyond Meat shares have jumped more than 4-fold. The deal comes as Starbucks faces intensified competition in the breakfast business. Burger chain Wendy's will soon start serving breakfast at its U.S. outlets. Starbucks has been boosting its plant-based offerings, but its tie-up with Beyond Meat marks the first time it'll sell any fake meat patty made from plants. Starbucks shares also rose in early trading Wednesday.
Huawei is having a second try at folding phones. The Mate XS was unveiled Monday. It's got a stronger screen and improved hinge compared to its predecessor. The Chinese phone maker hopes that will convince consumers to try the new design. It will go head-to-head with Samsung's folding handset, unveiled earlier this month. But with Huawei still facing US restrictions, the Mate will lack the full licensed version of Google's Android operating system. Its launch was live-streamed from Barcelona. This week it should have been hosting Mobile World Congress. That's the phone industry's big event of the year. But the 2020 instalment was cancelled due to concerns over the coronavirus. The coming days should still see a blizzard of new product launches, though. On Monday morning, Sony was among the first out of the gate. The confusingly named Xperia 1 II is its first 5G smartphone. It's intended to help the Japanese maker close the gap with the market's bigger players.
On the coast of South Africa's Western Cape, lobster catchers have become unexpected victims of the global coronavirus epidemic.
The factory don't want to take our fish. There's no market for our fish.
Last year, lobster catchers like Lorraine Brown landed 1,084 tons of West Coast lobster, and 95% of that haul was exported to China. But last month, as part of measures to contain the outbreak, China halted seafood imports, leaving the local lobster industry without its main source of cash and sending prices plummeting.
Because locally want to give us 125 rand a kilo. The market is gave people that caught before the coronavirus, they gave people about 340 rand a kilo. Wow. Now, that is a great amount that I'm going to be lost with.
Brown holds a permit to catch 203 kgs per season. The government has previously restricted the daily catch limits and number of fishing days in a bid to restore natural crayfish stocks threatened by poaching and overfishing. But Brown wants authorities to intervene by helping to find new markets and allowing the fishermen to catch at the weekend. The West Coast Rock Lobster Association, which represents offshore and nearshore rights holders, said the outbreak is causing a direct financial loss to rights holders estimated to be in excess of 257 million rand or 17 million US dollars.
Bob Iger has stepped down as Disney CEO effective immediately. Disney made the stunning announcement Tuesday and named head of Disney Parks Bob Chapek as the new chief executive, ending years of speculation on who would eventually take over Hollywood's most powerful studio. Chapek becomes the 7th CEO in the company's nearly 100-year history. Iger, who has been CEO since 2005, will serve as executive chairman and will direct Disney's creative endeavors. The change in leadership coming after Iger led the company through the development and launch of Disney+. Demand for the streaming service exceeded company expectations when it debuted in November 2019, the same year Iger was named Time's Business Person of the Year. He had built up the Disney brand through a series of acquisitions, including Pixar Animation, Marvel Studios, and Star Wars franchise owner Lucasfilm. Iger's biggest bet? Last year's $71 billion purchase of the entertainment assets of 21st Century Fox, a deal that was instrumental in launching Disney+. During a conference call on Tuesday, Iger said, "I felt that with the asset bases in place and with our strategy deployed, I should be spending as much time as possible on the creative side of our business." Iger plans to be with the company in his new role until the end of 2021.